Y'all, there is just no way that was 12 minutes. But anyway, it cut me off. Maybe the sensor needed cleaning. But anyway, I was doing my lips, and as you can see, this is extremely high gloss, and it's very moisturizing, and it sets the lipstick. So it's my number one product. It is Chanel, and I love it. I just love it. Okay, so what am I going to do right now? I got another fuzz on my finger. Forgive me. Forgive me for my over attention to my fuzzes. By the way, did you just see me sip? And you see, this is no trick photography. No transfer. And I just spit coffee at the camera. Okay, so let's just pick a palette. Remember how we've been going through a series lately of picking a palette of something that I already had that I used for a while. And then I just stopped using. And this is an Old Faithful. Y'all remember this. I still think it is, if you don't have this in your makeup collection, even if it's a very small makeup collection, which I'm not saying you should have a big one, but this is a great makeup palette, and it is the Too Faced Chocolate Palette, just the original one. It's called Chocolate Bar, and it's just got a good blend of darks and lights. There's a very good amount of matte, which isn't typical, and a good amount of shimmer. And the highlight ones are the larger ones, which makes sense because you use highlight more. And the reason that you use highlight more, I will get out an E55 shader from Sigma. The reason that you use it more is because, first of all, a lot of times we use a highlighter or a lighter color as our all over color. So you go under the brow. I have makeup on. I didn't get all my makeup off. Here's real life. I gotta keep going. We're gonna have to leave in less than 5 minutes. Okay, I didn't, bless my little heart. So I am going to even this all out with just putting this on over my whole lid. This is a matte highlighter. Now I'm going to take, well, let me do it on both eyes. And then I'm going to take the Frosty highlighter. It's got a little more pink to it, by the way. And I'm going to only do highlighting areas where you do want a shine, not just a coverage. When you put all over color on, it really can be close to your skin color. But now I'm going in the, it's got a little bit of a shimmer to it. I'm going in the inner corner right on the tear duct, and I go straight up and down. That way it gets this inner area and wakes it up, and it gets right below. And you can go straight across as well. And that just gives a lighter color to your lid. See how that just wakes up that area? If you think, well, Beth, it looks like a straight up and down line. It's not going to, because I am going to be putting another color there in just a second. And you can do this outer area of the brow to catch the light. And that's it. Now I'm going to use a fluff brush, which is a E50, sorry. And I'm going to pick a neutral color. I'm going for, I could either do milk chocolate right here, or I like sweet salted caramel right there. It's one of my favorite colors. It is a true caramel brown, meaning it's a very warm, it has a bit of peach to it, and it is a perfect neutral, or what should I say, a transition color to get you to your next color in the crease. That will be, and why do you need a transition color? Transition colors for when you do smoky eyes, meaning you're picking a color, and then you are going to need shades of that color. That's what smoke is. It's not the color smoke. That's not what it's referring to. Smoky eye is a technique. And that technique is to cause a shade variation from here to here. And so you want to have a background color, which is what we have now. Then you're going to add a darker color in that same color family, like browns or reds or pinks or blues or greens, or smoke, meaning grays. Now I am also going to use a pencil brush. This is an E30. I don't always do this, and I'm going to use that same transition color because I'm going to put it under my eye, and then I'm going to go darker closer to the lash. But this is a little further from the lash. It's a little further down. And all it's going to do is just kind of create a little bit darker effect for my lashes. There, as you can see. But then when I get closer to the lash, I'm going very dark and wetter. I'm doing all the makeup no-nos. But this is my palette. I don't share my palettes. If someone ever says, can I borrow your makeup? First of all, if I know somebody's going to spend the night that might want my makeup, I make sure I have a little makeup palette to give them. I've got so many little unopened makeup palettes, especially little ones. But I like to just get it wet that way. And then you can use something like MAC Fix Plus. Or, I feel like a lot of overspray goes everywhere when you spray that, though, to be honest. You'd have to spray it out over the carpet, then it's going on your carpet. Anyway, now I'm going to stay close to the lash line. Another thing that you can use, rather than just that product, is, I've heard, I've never used it myself, eye drops, like Visine, I guess. Why? Because they're wet and it's safe to be near your eyes. So now do you see there's a slight lighter color? It's still dark right under where I just went. So it kind of gives that same smoky effect. But the dark color is right up next to the lashes. So now I'm going to take an even more precise brush. You get more and more precise as you go in. And so I'm going to use this small tapered blending brush. This is an E55. And see the difference in that? Obviously, one of them's obvious. But you see, that was for, it's rounded so it's easier to go through there. And then see this? That was easier to pick up this whole big area. And now I just want to get in the crease, so I'm getting something more pointed. But you don't just do like that in the palette, because all you would get is the tip in. It's tapered, so I roll it. Now let's see which color we're going to use. I actually don't want to use the dark brown. I want to use the color right below it. Let's go with that. Let's go with this one right here. It's called Amaretto. I don't know how dark that's going to be. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to literally, like this, watch my fingers, roll it like that, okay? That way I'm getting all down in those little tapers as well. Why does that matter? Do tap it off because it's a little powdery. Because I'm going to look up at you now, and that means my lid, my actual eyelid, is grabbing that brush a little bit, and it's keeping the brush in the crease rather than having it come up in this area. And that's going to concentrate the color in the crease. Now I am going to let it come up a little bit. I just wanted the initial to really, really hang out in that crease area, get most of the color. And now I can do little circles without picking up the end and that concentrated color. See that? Then I just rolled this, and I'm going to come out in. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, like that. And what that does is create that V effect that just causes a little bit more dark shadow out here. And it just kind of, you know, it actually doesn't elongate the eye because it's dark. So that actually would move that color in. But I still would do it. I think it gives depth, and I love it. Let me look up. So I can get that brush. Just what happens is the skin just grabs that brush when you look up. And it keeps it in the crease. Now I'm going to do little circles without lifting the end of the brush. Just very little circles. Look how that just deposited product. Now I've got to smooth that out a little bit. So first of all, I'm going to come out in, out in, out in, make that V. And then I'm going to go back and forth a little wider here. Just spread that product just a little bit so it's blended. It's always a little harder for some reason on this side because of that. There. And that's the palette. Here's the other thing. It still smells like chocolate. And this is probably at least 2 years old, probably. And it does have a mirror. Really like this palette. I like that it's that metal. It must be time to go. My husband's here.
Darling, I will be going to Lord equipment.
Okay, I've got to. Now I'm putting on okay, I had to put on my liner. This liner's so good that it smooths on so good that I don't even have to hold the flap down. Look how it's just gliding on my lash line. Now, I've been doing makeup a long time too, so that may, some of you say, I could not do that, Beth. Well, I've been doing it a very long time. I'm almost 60 after all. I keep saying that lately because I'm 57. That is not almost 60. I better quit saying that because I'm going to be saying it for 3 long years if I do. Okay, oh, I didn't do my eyebrow. And I'm going to do that with powder, I think. Yeah, I'm going to use that same dark brown. Perfect filler. Just going to do a little filler. Doesn't give you much of a point. There. And use the excess to come back through and kind of fill in a little bit. What to do with the palette. And now the color that I'm using, oh, that was the truffle fudge. That was the top, blah, I can't talk. The top chocolate color in here is the fudge color. Because fudge is dark, I guess. That's why they did that. And I'm just going to go through the hairs and kind of just fill in the fullness. Again, this is not a precision brush, so you can't get a tail on it. If you want a tail, you'd have to use a crayon product or an actual brow product. I'm literally just using, the key to this is the brush. This is that very densely packed E20. Yeah, short shader. Or some people call these a smudge brush. Oh my gosh, my eyebrows are so uneven now. That one went so much higher. Hold on. Don't want to overdo it because I am going over an area I just did. So maybe what we'll do is bring this brow down a little. There we go. Also, it was getting a little too dark and thick looking, so we'll just do that. And it actually ended up giving it, oh god,